Thank you for having me here. Like you said before, my name is Liz Sutterquist, and I am technically a student at DMAC through their correspondence program, which a high school has to proctor my tests, and I do homework, I guess you could call it, and I will get my diploma. Uh, I'm still technically a student at Gilbert High School, but I rarely ever attend. I have no classes there. I'm there long enough to take my DMAC tests. The reason why I rarely step foot in Gilbert is because I slowly dropped my classes in order to remove myself from a school that was unsupportive and hostile to me because I myself identify as lesbian. At the beginning of the year, I had long hair and had tried to act straight because I knew it was a conservative school, and I did this to protect myself. I was living a double life. Early in the year, I had met a guy, and he wanted to help me with my algebra class because I was having problems with it and I was struggling. He had a crush on me and constantly was asking me to go on dates and wanted to actually be with me. I had made it clear I just wanted to be friends, and we decided to go to homecoming together as friends. Afterwards, he still continued to pursue me, and I continued to make it clear that I just wanted to be friends. He got mad at me, and there was one day that I had decided to confide in him and tell him that I was gay. And later on, that would be the wrong move to do. He got angrier as I kept saying that I did not want to be with him. He decided to out me at school, which in the LGBT community, you do not out somebody. It is wrong. You don't know the reasons why somebody is in the closet. I was scared about how people were going to react, but nobody had believed me at first. Later on, I had had window paint on my car to support the rugby team at ISU, and someone had taken their key and wrote the words and into my windows, leaving scratches. My car was vandalized, and I had also gotten a text from a friend saying all these things that everybody else was saying about me, including derogatory names and different slurs. I had told the principal, and I had tried showing him pictures of my car. I had tried showing them text messages, but he continued to say that he believed me and that I didn't need to show him the evidence. And me being a teenager, I didn't want to see that anymore. It was depressing me, so I did the wrong thing and I deleted them. Now that people knew that I was gay, I slowly started to be me. In February, I had attended an LGBT conference at Iowa State University known as Mumble Talk, or MBLGTACC. And afterwards, I decided to cut my hair and show the world who I really am and how I feel and express myself in a way that I felt was necessary. People really started to harass me, and I went to the principal numerous times. He would meet with me, but just brush off all of my concerns. I started to feel fear for my physical safety and worried about people starting even more rumors. To me, it felt like 600 people against one. I felt very small, and it was very overwhelming because so many people were up against me. I had some allies, but they were so scared to actually stand up for me that it didn't even help. When you're worried about your safety, it's hard going to school. It's difficult to concentrate. I'd get anti-gay texts on my phone, I'd hear slurs, and I'd be called names, and the person that had outed me to the school was kind of the ringleader of everything. This is not how I wanted to go to school. I wanted to feel safe, so I decided to pursue and make a Gay Straight Alliance, or a GSA. I wanted to educate my peers and faculty and stop the homophobia and hate. I began working with Iowa Pride Network. Unfortunately, the advisor that I wanted for the GSA kept trying to talk me out of it. He kept saying I would get bullied and harassed even more, and he told me that he was just concerned for my safety and for my well-being. But I wanted the support, and I was tired of hearing anti-gay remarks, and I wanted to change. I kept being told that the Gay Straight Alliance was a bad idea. At the time, I was dealing with teachers who wouldn't call on me in class or even involve me. Some of my teachers even felt it was okay to say "that's gay" when describing a dislike, which it's not right. Female teachers didn't feel comfortable around me and avoided me because I identified as lesbian. And most faculty wanted nothing to do with me. I finally felt so discouraged, I gave up on the GSA and my school. I developed severe anxiety, stomach issues, and depression. I didn't want to go to school, and I didn't want to have to go to faculty that didn't pay attention to me and no one handling the bullying problem. My mom had called the superintendent, and the superintendent said he would look into it, but nothing had ever changed. My principal had called my mom and would yell at her and say I was never in school, and my mom would simply explain it was because the school wasn't handling the bullying situation, or it was because I had such severe anxiety and stomach problems that I couldn't attend school anyway. And that's when I decided to enroll in DMACC to get away from the harassment and bullying and to get my diploma, because I wanted to find a way to get away from everything unless something severe would happen. And I would get into such a low depression that I could end up like the other tragic students and possibly commit suicide, and I didn't want that to happen. I was currently a junior, and I had enough credits to graduate this spring or this summer. And I wanted to go to college in the fall, but now I can't because I can only graduate once my class does next year in 2013. My life is now put on hold, and because I'm being held back, so is my financial aid for college, because the adult diploma is a gray area. The one bright spot I was looking forward to this spring was possibly going to prom with my girlfriend. I wanted to go to prom because this was technically my senior year now, and I wanted to have that high school and senior year experience. I was told I wasn't allowed because I was missing too much school, and I was only attending DMACC classes, and I wasn't a full-time student. But at that time, I still had some Gilbert classes. There was another student at my school who had missed school and was also attending classes mostly at Iowa State, but he was allowed to go. It was a double standard, and the principal said not only could I not go to prom, I would not be allowed to bring my girlfriend, but yet everybody else can bring their own date. My experience at Gilbert High School has been tough. It's very hellish at times. And I hope that through this testimony, schools will realize that not providing a safe and supportive environment does affect students and their ability to learn. Students should not have to worry about being judged for who they are and judge them on their actions, not on how they present their gender or sexual orientation like myself. You should be able to go to school and know that there is going to be teachers that support you, or at least put their opinions aside and treat you like a normal human being. School faculty needs ongoing training, not just training once a year, but actual ongoing training. People who want to become teachers also need classes as well to help them understand how to deal with bullying, not just with sexual orientation or gender identity, but also with disabilities and anything in between. Schools also need gay-straight alliances. As Matt and Ms. Riley had said, they do help. It's, even if it is not just a gay person starting it, it's a great way to have a support group for that person that is getting bullied, whether they're gay, straight, or have a gender identity or not, and they can go there and have the support, almost like a family. And they can go and tell people what is going on and what's happening at school, or what's even going on at home, because some families don't always accept their child when they have a different gender identity than what they are, or their sexual orientation, or anything really. And a GSA does help. I know in my school a GSA would make a big difference, and I am still trying to fight to have a GSA at that school, even though I am not a part of that school, but I am still willing to help, because no kid should have to go through what I did. No one should have to live a double life, and no one should have to worry about being judged. And yes, people are going to judge you no matter what, but people need to understand that we're human, and we come in all different shapes, sizes, colors, different mental states, different everything. And it's important that we embrace who we are, and we should not have to be afraid to embrace who we are. A GSA would also help the anti-gay remarks stop. They may not stop completely, but when you hear faculty saying, "That's so gay," or you even hear students calling another one a faggot or gay in general, it's hurtful, even if they themselves are not gay. To force that on someone is hurtful, and it can really damage someone. Senator Harkin, thank you for allowing me to speak today, and I hope that my story and some of my ideas help bring issues to light.